All right, folks. Thanks for joining us quickly. Good afternoon, good evening, and wherever you're watching, based on your time. My name is Anthony Williams, and it's been a few days now since President Boakai arrived here in Paris, France, to honor his state visit on the invitation of his counterpart, French President, President Emmanuel Macron. And of course, you all have been following the activities since President Boakai arrived, being given a state welcome there, and also paying a visit at Palace Elysee, the home of the French president, where they both held a breakfast meeting along with the Liberian delegation, inclusive of Foreign Minister Madame Sarah Besto-Yanti, Minister of Finance Augustin Gafwa, and several other members making up President Boakai's delegation here in Paris, France. So we laid out some of the activities that President Boakai will be forming part of here in Paris, France. In fact, this morning, as we speak, His Excellency held his first business meeting after his meeting on yesterday with French President Emmanuel Macron. This morning, President Boakai met Mendef, the French business enterprise, one of the largest employers here in France, and also followed by several other meetings. As we've been emphasizing, we've been told that President Boakai is expected to meet ArcelorMittal, Total Energy, and other energy giants here in Paris, and other businesses here in Paris. But currently, as we speak, His Excellency President Boakai is now arriving as we speak, entering into the hall where he will be holding engagement with diaspora Liberians. So let's go quickly to the event. And so in there you are looking at a score of diaspora Liberians who have gathered to meet His Excellency President Boakai for engagements to talk about issues concerning Liberians residing in the diaspora, precisely here in Paris, France. So we are now going to go to the podium where the event is taking place. President Boakai himself has already just arrived, and we're going to show you quickly. So if you look on the podium there, you're seeing President Boakai, Foreign Minister Sarah Besto-Yanti.
Senator, I'm being a member of the President's Cabinet, officials of government, the President, the Federation of Liberians in France, other invited guests, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. We wish to welcome you here in this deep hall for a presidential dialogue with the Liberian community living in France. To begin the program, I wish to now invite Dr. Ahmed Esako, who will give us the opening prayer.
All right, folks. So President Boakai is already seated. Members of the diaspora community here in France are all seated already also as we speak. So we're going to go for our invocation now. But on the podium, we are seeing His Excellency President Boakai and the Foreign Minister, Madame Sarah Besto-Yanti. Well, that was
here today. Seek your blessing and your guidance upon us and upon our country. So we pray that Allah save us. Amen.
all right. Opening prayer there being done here. Scores of Liberian citizens residing here in the diaspora.
By the Honorable Ambassador, Mr. Tico Yonle,
And so Ambassador Tico Yonle is the carrier.
President.
Ambassador Tico Yoli is Liberia's ambassador here to the French Republic. He's doing the official welcoming ceremony.
Excellency, I wish to welcome you and our fellow Liberians here. For a little over 2 decades, Liberian community had issues. So when we came to made our duty to have meetings and to organize, fortunately for us, we succeeded in establishing an interim leadership that has been working with us. And we'll be working over 2 years period to elect a new leadership that will superintend the activities of my community in France. And so we are glad that you've come to interact with the citizens that are based in France. Thank you. Welcome.
Ambassador Tiko Yoli is the ambassador of Liberia to the French Republic.
Of the Liberian Community for his remarks.
He's now going the heads of the Liberian community here in France quickly for his official remark.
Good evening to all of you. Your Excellency, President Joseph Boakai, and the platform guests, I would love to call on the Peace Ambassador who will make a statement on behalf of the community. Thank you.
All right, you heard him. He's calling on the Peace Ambassador to deliver a statement on behalf of the Liberian community here in France.
His Excellency President, Mr. Joseph Boakai Senior, President of the Republic of Liberia, Reverend Cyril Excellency, Minister of Foreign Affairs and Dean of Cabinet, Republic of Liberia, Dr. Tito Yoli, our ambassador, honorable staff of the Liberian Embassy, distinguished personalities, leadership of the Liberian Federation in France, members of and officials of the Liberian Association in France and across Europe. Special greetings from Flag President Mr. Francis Mensah, friends, sympathizers of Liberia, ladies and gentlemen. Your Excellency, Mr. President, it is indeed a profound honor and privilege to welcome you and your distinguished delegation to the French Republic. We are deeply overjoyed by this auspicious occasion and thankful for the opportunity to address you. Since you assumed office, we have closely followed the progress of Liberia's development, honor your capable leadership. On behalf of the Liberian community in France, we express our satisfaction and heartfelt appreciation. We pray that Almighty continue to bless you and Mama Liberia honor your guardianship. Before proceeding further, we want to extend our sincere gratitude to the administration of the former Charge d'Affaires, Madame Crispy, and again the Ambassador Tito, and the diligent staff of the Liberian Embassy that have been working diligently with the Federation. Notwithstanding your Excellency, Mr. President, there are key recommendations we want your administration to take into consideration for us Liberians living in France. Let's start with the passport renewal services. Currently, Liberians living in France must travel to Brussels for passport renewal, a process that is both time-consuming and costly. We respectfully request that the government of Liberia make provisions for passport renewal to be processed directly in France, thereby easing the burden on our citizens, your citizens. Scholarship opportunities. We appeal to the establishment of the scholarship program for Liberians in France. Furthermore, we kindly request that the Liberians residing in France be prioritized by any government-sponsored scholarships available within the French Republic. The employment opportunities at the embassy, we appeal for greater inclusion of Liberians in local staff positions within the Embassy of Liberia in Paris. Prioritizing Liberian citizens for such roles will strengthen our representation and enhance community engagement. We urge your administration, sir, to engage the French authorities to advocate for better legal status and regularization opportunities for long-term Liberian residents in France. This will promote community stability, unity, and capacity building among our people abroad. And we also want to appeal to the President. We appeal for your intervention in renegotiating with the French government for Air France to resume flights to Liberia. Many Liberians in France face difficulties traveling to go back home due to the suspension of Air France route to Liberia. We humbly request that the Liberian government consider granting diaspora representation in the national legislature, voting rights franchise to Liberians abroad. This will strengthen our participation in national governance and development. On investment in Nigeria, Your Excellency, we recall your appeal to Liberians both at home and abroad, delivered through our ambassador upon the presentation of his credentials to the government of France, urging all Liberians to invest into various sectors of our nation's economy. Since then, we have been working closely with the embassy to attract investors to Liberia, and Ambassador Yongle and his team can attest to these ongoing efforts. However, we wish to emphasize the need for greater investment flexibility to encourage wider diaspora participation in our nation's economic activities. In particular, we would like to highlight the high traffic taxation imposed on the National Port Authority, which pose a serious obstacle to our business growth and investment efforts back home. Some community members recently returned from Liberia shared both encouragement and constructive feedback, but the overall sentiment remains one of the optimism and confidence in our administration work as far. In conclusion, we Liberians residing in France across Europe reaffirm our commitment to national unity, development, and community service. We join your call, Mr. President, urging all Liberians in the diaspora to actively contribute to Mama Liberia progress through investment, skills transfers, and civic engagement. We also pledge continued support to your leadership, to Mr. Ambassador Young and his team, and to all efforts that advance Liberia's growth and prosperity. Thank you, Mr. President. May God bless you and the Republic of Liberia. And this was signed by the presidents of the various associations, Mr. Ali Sharif of the Normandy Association, Mr. Faisal Kamara of the Mandingo Association in France, Ousmane Jenny, Liberia Association Leon, Iman Duclay, Mandingo Liberia Association, Sam Johnson, Mr. Richard Jar, Liberian Association Montpellier, Leon, National Fuller Association, they all attested to it. The Council of Elders attested to this thing. Mr. Ousmane Jenny, Mr. Lai Bamba, Mr. Yate Torre, Ishmael Kamara, and Mrs. Pauline Harris. And this was approved by the Peace Ambassador across France and Mr. Burr, our interim president. So, Mr. President, thank you so much.
Thank you, Madam Peace Ambassador. We will now have the
Folks, you've just witnessed the Peace Ambassador there submitting to President Boakai their petition. Several items were listed, including their commitment to continue to support Liberia's development and investment opportunity. We'll now get a statement from the Foreign Minister.
Joseph Newman Boakai, Senior President of the Republic of Liberia, Senator Taba Fabla, Ranking Committee Chair on Foreign Affairs in the Senate, the interim president of the interim leadership, president and leadership of the Liberian Association here in France, the members of the President's Cabinet and his entourage's delegation here for his state visit to France, our ambassador and team here at the embassy, ladies and gentlemen, fellow citizens and friends of Liberia. I find this a very distinct honor to be able to greet you all today as Minister of Foreign Affairs, and I think I speak for the entire cabinet and the delegation that we are very happy to be able to engage with Liberians here in France. I use this opportunity to let you know that your ambassador and the team at the embassy have done a wonderful job in preparing the President's state visit. It represented you all very well, and the state visit has gone extremely well. Let's give them a hand. The opportunity to engage is exactly what we just saw before us just now, where the peace ambassador was able to speak to issues confronting the Liberian community in France. This is why His Excellency is here. This is why he wanted to meet his people, because he wants to know the challenges you face. Recently, His Excellency convened the first global diaspora conference in Washington, D.C., because he wanted to be able to listen to the diaspora challenges, but the diaspora opportunities as well. On this delegation, we have the National Investment Chair, we have also the Minister of Finance and Development Planning, two people who are very critical to the issue of diaspora investment in the arrest agenda for inclusive development, the President's vision for our prosperity, and something all of us need to key into. This is important, and for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and for the ambassador here, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, under the President's leadership as the chief architect of our foreign policy. All of us together as a team have embarked on economic diplomacy. It goes beyond the issue of aid. We're looking at how we look at trade and investments. And Liberians in the diaspora are critical for this. Liberians in the diaspora are doing business, small businesses, medium enterprises, and big businesses as well. Liberians are in trade, Liberians are investing in other economies. Why not in Liberia itself, where all of us can be at home and find prosperity right where we were born and right where our native land is. This is important to His Excellency, and I just wanted to be able to say to you that as we're saying to foreigners, as we said to French companies today, Liberia is open for business. The points that were raised by the Peace Ambassador, which reflects and represents all of you based on the signatories and attestations that we heard, all of those points are very important, and we've taken note. And I'm looking at the ambassador, I'm also looking at other members of the delegation as it relates to shipping fees, port fees, clearing of containers and so forth. The points you raised around trade and some of the bottlenecks you face. We've taken note of the need to ease the burden on you as it relates to accessing your rights, your identification, your citizenship document, your passport. We've taken note of that, Ambassador, and we've taken note of several of the other issues that you have raised. We have them documented, and we'll be working with the key stakeholders responsible for the different issues you've raised to look at them, to give you feedback as well. As we presented to the President, I can tell you he will hold us accountable. He will hold us accountable in terms of what we've heard from you today and in terms of how we respond to it. One thing we can definitely say for sure is that within our control, sooner than later, will be the issue of passports. And we hope to be able to bring those services to you sooner than later. Because you are here to hear from our President, to hear from our leader, our father, our visionary. I will take up too much of your time, but you'll hear from us through the ambassador in these weeks and months to come. Thank you.
Additionally, we know some of you have statements to make, probably questions to ask. So we want to open up the floor before the President speaks, so that when he responds, he will close the session. So, has anyone else anything to say here? Call your name, which state and or city you live in, and ask your question and or make your statement or remark.
Thank you for the opportunity. So my name is Stephen Carley Jr. and I have the privilege to serve as Secretary General of the Federation of Liberian Associations in Europe. Mr. President, thank you for the opportunity that allows us to engage with you. If we want to reflect, these kind of opportunities are rare for us in Europe here. We don't remember the moments where President comes and we have this opportunity to interact. And so we appreciate the opportunity. So, a few points I want to make. First of all, Mr. President, I want to say that I think you have placed our country on the right trajectory with the improvements being made in foreign service, with the bar being lifted in foreign service, with our economic policy. The economic growth pace on course, one may say. And so we are satisfied with the trajectory on which you've placed our country, and we love the direction in which you're moving. We believe that the foreign policy plays a key role. So, rebranding Liberian image out here is something that is very key, and we love that of you. We can only hope that you will continue, with this path. Having said that, Mr. President, one thing I want to bring to your attention is our admiration for your fight against corruption. Of recent, that fight against corruption affected some of us, some institutions that we are concerned about. You made a decision a few hours before your exit from Liberia that led to the dissolution of Tottenham University Board of Trustees. We've come here today as alumni of Tottenham University to say a big thank you to you for the fact that you are following the issues at Tottenham University. We want to ask you, Mr. President, that the problem at Tottenham University is yet to be solved. Unfortunately, the Baptist Reverend Dr. Olu Menji is proceeding error from corruption to ensuring that board members are pocketed. And so, Mr. President, the only one thing you can do for some of us is to ensure that Tottenham University does not crumble, is to ensure that Tottenham University is rescued by the rescue mission. And so that point is very key, it's very close to our chest, and that's why we have to say it. And so, let me not take all of the time.
I thank you for adhering to time, but others might not have the same luxury, so we gave you at least 2 minutes, not longer. Please. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. President. My name is F. Samuel Duebuli, former employee of the Ministry of Youth and Sport, River G County. Mr. President, I want to say thank you for the corridor to Grand Jida, and I know it will reach to River G. It amazed me for the fact that those places used to be hard to reach. Sometimes it took 4 or 5 days before you arrived there. But your government has made some progress in that, so I want to say thank you. Mr. President, I have some issues that I want you to look at as a key issues in River G County. River G have only one institution, high school, called Toejigli. Mr. President, I beg your indulgence. River G is a big county, have 3 electoral districts and 10 administrative districts, and only one high school. I beg your indulgence with the final minister to make the erection of one more public school in fixed time, so it can be 2 for the population. Because people come from Webocronken, people come from Jotoken, people come from Tiliken. It's a hard to reach area. So I would love for you to look in that direction. And thank you all so much for your development. Thank you.
We have to do this thing with gender balance.
Good evening, Mr. President. My name is, and also Madam Winslow and all the ministers and distinguished guests. My name is Silu Doe, your daughter, Silu Doe Addo. I must acknowledge my wonderful husband here today. When I met with you earlier this year at the Executive Mansion, I shared with you that I was here in Paris pursuing my PhD in international relations and diplomacy. And I'm in my second year, and as Madam Penn stated in her statement to you, mentioning the issue of the need for scholarships and support for, Liberians living in the diaspora, I wanted to go along that line and just share with you, as the only Liberian at my university at the highest level that one can obtain education in academia, I find it very lonely, and when I have no support system in terms of other Liberians or maybe opportunities to reach back, and because as someone who's in research, having opportunities to navigate, to communicate with the diaspora, with Monrovia, and be able to, find ways to ask questions and things of that nature. So I just wanted to ask, is there a system in place, or if not a system in place, some type of mechanism that can be set up to give support to Liberians in the diaspora, not just in France, but other people who are pursuing higher education, especially on this level where we really need to conduct serious research. Those of us who, like myself, is pursuing Liberia in terms of research, in terms of trying to understand what is going on and what has happened with our. Just wondering if there can be something that is in place where even a mentorship or even other support. I did a year of internship at the embassy and UNESCO. That was absolutely amazing. The team here that you have in France, in Paris, is absolutely phenomenal. And I just want to know if possible that we can establish something that people who are pursuing higher education, who are seriously interested in serving and giving back to their country, to not let their talents go somewhere else, but we can be able to, you can funnel that talent back home to Liberia. Because as someone who is very passionate about my country and wish to serve my country, I would hate to, not have the opportunity and have to turn somewhere else because there is no, situation in place. So I just wanted to appeal to you on that. Thank you.
You're right. Yeah, I know that they will have.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. My name is Dr. Ahmed Sakar. I'm a senior legal counsel at the Islamic Development Bank based in Saudi Arabia in Jeddah. So my point is, as I've known, I'm the only Liberian that worked at the Islamic Development Bank. And it feels really painful to see that Liberia is not a member of Islamic Development Bank. Other countries, they are getting really a good opportunity out of that area. You get what I'm saying? So I don't know what is your position or your government position of becoming a member to the Islamic Development Bank, which will really help in terms of infrastructure development and economic leverages for Liberia. Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. President. I'm Hassan Ikmar Jian. We live in France here, part of the association. For the diaspora, we have a small problem. Kenya actually import system is to help us. In order for us to be here in time of election, and to help us to be here and vote. We see the majority of our neighboring countries are here and they are also able to vote, are not going into their country. So that was very helpful because we are going to vote for our leaders, but due to our busy schedule, we are here, we don't have the chance to come to go for election and vote. You know, sometimes they go and get a card, everything, or the employment here. It doesn't wait. You have to come back quick and start your job, and we miss the election. We have a system here in our various embassies, in Morocco here, or in diaspora, for us to vote. It was very helpful for us to vote for our system into place. Thank you.
The man won't be here and vote.
Good evening, Mr. President. My name is Martin Essise. I'm 17 years old in high school in France. Thank you for this opportunity and thank you for being here with us today. It is an honor for me to be here with you all. Mr. President, I want to share a few words with you on behalf of the youth in Liberia. I'm kindly requesting you, Mr. President, for your endless support to the youth in Liberia. They need better access to education, good food, and protection to build a better future. I wish you a safe return and may God bless you. Thanks.
Thank you, madam. Thank you. Thank you. We'll have two more questions, and then the President, His Excellency, will respond to your concerns. You'll call your name, the city you live in, and then you can.
I'm Jeanette Lobo from the Mo community in the Soissons. From Mo community. Well, Mr. President, we are glad to have you here with us today. I'm so proud today to be a Liberian. I've always been proud. I'm so proud because when we started living here, it was very hard to find Liberians in France. And nowadays, I have a lot of my brothers and sisters who are now in France. I'm so proud. And I was in Liberia in July. And then when I got to the airport, there are certain things I go to. This year I went straight there and did have a 2 days, so I'm part of it. And I'm also proud of the system that you are trying to fight drugs in Liberia because we get our young youth that are dying, and it's so painful. So I really want to appreciate the step that you are taking towards drugs. But one problem that I got, and I want to share, I have shared it several times when I get to Liberia, and even to the embassy, I have talked about it. It's like we Liberians here, when we are going to Liberia, we pay for our visa. When we get to Liberia, the embassy gave us 3 months to go to Liberia. But when we get to Liberia, to the airport, they gave us only 1 month. So I don't know whether you can really work it out for us, because when you go to the other country, when the embassy gave you 3 months, when you get to the entrance, they extend your 3 months. That's where your 3 months starts. But for us, it's the opposite of the situation. When the embassy here gave you 3 months, then when you get to Liberia, they give you only 1 month. So I feel that you look into it for us, because we here, we want to really be in contact with Liberia. I mean, for me, I have already educated my children, and I have taught them that they are Liberians. Even this year, I went with one of my daughter to Liberia. And we want our youth here to be free to invest in Liberia. So please, if we get 3 months from the embassy here, then it also be 3 months in Liberia. Thank you. God bless you. We citizenship.
I have right to have 2 citizenships.
No, we didn't come here to challenge each other. We came here to look into issues where the president will take decisions that will help you and make your life easy. Oh, let me have this gentleman right here. Kindly be brief.
First of all, my name is Mohamed Sidibe. I was born in Paris, Lofa County. I'm a Liberian living in Paris for 50 years. I don't have enough to say, but just to emphasize on a point that my lovely sister just mentioned concerning our brothers and sisters home that have different identity that they call Zogo. So I want for the government to see what they can do for those people, because they are the future of the nation. And there's different titles calling them the Zobo. So, Mr. President, Your Excellency, where I need at least a little bit effort to change some of those images. Thank you very much.
Your name, city you live in.
I'm Nematu Kumara Richardson. Good evening, Mr. President, good evening, Madam Minister, Senator. I'm not a resident of France. I came there for yesterday, I rode a flight with the minister, and I came for the program. Fortunately for me, and they said the president will come in. And I was invited by the community here to come and meet the president, to be part of the delegation or the people in this country that will come and meet the president and these things. And what I want to say here is that people that I talked to since I came, they said good thing about Liberia and the leadership of Liberia. They said that things are getting on the right path and they are very happy. But one of the things they talk about is trade. They said that the free port, all their the procedure and those things they put in place is giving them hard time to trade well. Most of the time they have to take container to Guinea and put it in the car and transfer to Liberia. And we see that we are losing revenue because of that. So, and they said that, oh, they would like to meet the president and talk about that. But since I'm here, and I know that people who are making statements, they are not talking about that. So I bring that to their attention. And Mr. President, thank you once more for appointing me on the board at LEC. And we are doing extremely well, as we can see. And the draft and coming, we're putting things in place and things will be all right. Thank you very much and welcome to Paris.
Now, will any official government have anything to say? Okay, we'll have two more questions because we know the time is fast spent, but I asked the organizers, or rather our host here, for 15 minutes so I can entertain two more questions before we call the president. But before that, I just want to say that Mr. Stephen M. Carley, who is the Secretary General of the Federation of Liberians living in France, has said that, Europe, France is a part of Europe anyway. He has said that the Liberians in Europe want to host the next year's DIASPORA conference. So I just thought to announce that. Yes, sir.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mohamed Diallo. I live in Paris, France. Last 2024, I've taken my FIFA A scouting lesson in football, and currently I'm in the AG sport management, and also I did my course as FIFA sport management agent that I'll be graduating. I'm in the Maryland University College doing my science, football, FIFA A, lesson, and management. My question goes to the Mr. President. During the campaign 2023, the President made a statement that gave we the youth a beautiful hope for better Liberia. That whenever we took over, sports going to be a key environment to go through under your leadership. But we are seeing under your leadership, all the sectors is really improving, national and international, but the sports, especially the football, remain the same. Under your leadership, Mr. President, can your government guarantee us that our football will get back to the international stage? That is my question. Thank you.
Just to inform you, Liberia did well in her zone. I don't know whether you follow.
Good evening, brothers and sisters. My name is Anthony Lobo. I come from Boakai Holds County. I'm very happy, Mr. President, with all the things I see on the media that you are doing for the country. It makes us be very, very happy. Very happy. Because most of the neighboring countries, when you go, they are well developed. When you go to Liberia, you say, what's going on? But since you took over, you have really brought joy to us in the European community. We who are living in Europe, you really brought joy to us. And we are very happy for that. And the young lady that was just talking is my beloved wife. And thank you very much for the road that is going to go far. Because I remember when you went for the reburial of Dr. Harry Moneybaum, you saw how it was. And today everything has changed. It's not yet to the 100%, but what we have done, right now we can take 6 to 7 hours to get to Kolahon. Before we used to take 2 weeks. Yeah, because the car stuck on the road and other things, you know. And I'm very happy for that. And thank you very much, Mr. President. Please say hello to Mr. Richardson, he's my brother.
Okay, now you know the president will have to respond, and then we'll find a way to close here. Because if we continue like this, the hands will always go up. So we beg your indulgence, you know.
So before we give His Excellency the opportunity to say some words to you all, some of us in the delegation will be able to address some of the things you raised. And I will start off and then others can come in. So firstly, thank you for all of the points that you raised. I think this kind of engagement can only strengthen Liberia. The differences that we have, the diversity of our views, and the diversity of our perspectives is our strength. Because we will come from diverse perspectives and we weigh all of that to make evidence-informed decisions, we can only be a better people and a better country. So our tolerance in hearing each other, engaging with each other, is very important. And this is the new Liberia we have sought, and this is the new Liberia that we have. A president who listens, who wants to listen, and a president who hears and responds to what he hears. So I will take on a few of the points and then ask other members of the delegation if they want to add anything. So firstly, let me speak to the issue of the our sister Silu Adams, who's seeking a PhD and wanting a support system. And we spoke just now with His Excellency, we're discussing, we'll pass that on to our Minister of Education, Dr. Jaso Jala. Those are things that she's actually seized on. She's really interested in those kinds of issues. And I'm sure as a recommendation going back to her, she'll see able to put it in place. I met someone like you in Morocco who had a similar view. And so I think this is now time for us to put that in place and give you all that platform that you need, not only for your own peer support mechanism, but also for a structured way in which you can be able to give back and tag into the arrest agenda in terms of research or the different areas that you have. So it's a really good point. So thank you for raising that point. On the issue of the visa versus the admission. So, for example, when I go to the US and I have a 1-year visa or let's say a 1-year visa, at the point of entry, I'll be given 6 months. Although I have a 1-year visa, the time I'm allowed to stay in the country will be different. So the visa duration is not the same as the time you're allowed to stay in the country. However, you have a valid point on the leave of the duration of the change. If you have a 3-month visa, it means within that 3-month period, you should enter the country. At the point of entry, you're told how long you should stay in the country. But when we go to ECOWAS countries, we're given 3 months. So I believe that we should look at that. That's something we should look at as a policy recommendation to our immigration colleagues and so forth to say, how long people upon first entry to the country, how long they should have. I'm sure some of those things depend on the passport you carry and so forth, but again, it's a point for us to take back at the policy level to discuss with our colleagues, Ministry of Justice, Immigration, and so forth. But just to clarify the difference between the visa duration and the time you're giving in the country, they're not one and the same. They differ. The next point I want to address is the issue of sports and the team. You heard, in fact, since you said it, our president said, well, our team doing better now. And of course, you heard the echo across the hall. And we do have our President's Ambassador on Youth and Sports who's here with us as well. MyLiberianPeople is here as well with us. But also in recent months or recent weeks, we've been able to secure support from Serbia. They will be deploying a coach, and as recent as I think 4 days ago or so, they told me that they have shortlisted, and they have some very good candidates for us to choose from. So we're in the process of trying to get a coach, a foreign coach for the national team, in line with sports diplomacy. So His Excellency sees on all aspects of our development, all sectors. His Excellency is making progress across the country. I think the last one I would speak to then would be the one on you stressed the issue of drugs, and I know His Excellency, that's something that's close to his heart, we'll talk about it as well. But President declared a war on drugs. He declared a state of emergency, which means everybody in his administration has a responsibility towards helping to solve the problem. So we have Ministry of Health and others who are leading it, but everybody has a role to play. One of the things that His Excellency continues to tell us as a cabinet, that he's here for the people to solve the problems of the people. And these people are people's children. They're our sons, our daughters, our cousins, they're our relatives. There's nobody in Liberia who's not affected by drugs. Everybody has somebody close to them or somebody they know who's affected by this serious scourge, this serious crisis as it relates to the future of our young people. So I just want to add that as well, and to say on the other points, other colleagues can come in if they would like to add some points. Minister Gafwan.
This is the Minister of Finance and Development Planning. You talk about roads, you're hustling for money.
Thank you very much, and let me join the Minister of Foreign Affairs and the Dean of the Cabinet to extend thanks to the Ambassador and members of the staff of the Embassy for the preparation, and thanks to you all, colleagues, for coming. We're proud to be on the President's delegation. It's been a very substantive engagement. The full result will be given by the Minister. I feel very proud that we could come to engage with not only the French President, but French businesses, as happened this morning, and that pursuing what the Minister says is the economic diplomacy agenda. So things are on course. I want to address specifically some of the questions you raised. One, concerning the Islamic Development Bank. You know, our ambassador down to Kuwait, Dr. Kabah, was once a member of the board of the ISDB. And we started to have a conversation about Liberia's, I think, because we are not an Islamic country, but there's a status for non-Islamic countries. Things started sometime in the past, but they were not consummated. I have given instructions to my folks for us to pursue and to consummate that process. So we've already begun, and we have to complete it because that gives us access to some other support that will come from the Islamic Development Bank. We are engaging a lot of entities in the Middle East, in the Islamic area, the Kuwaiti Fund, Badia, Saudi Fund, and others. In fact,
they formed a consortium of financiers for the Banga-Menekoma Highway. As we speak, I will give the full briefing to the President. I am ahead of the delegation to Kuwait in April, and we have some further meetings with them in DC for the funding of the highway. The fundings were secured by the past UP government, the first UP government for Manga to Salaye, and funding commitments are being put together now by this government of His Excellency for Vonjama to Menekoma. There is a bill, there is an agreement that is at the legislature as we speak, agreement that is to be ratified after the legislature goes through. Part of the corridors they are going to finance and construct will be from Vonjama to Menekoma and also from Monrovia to Bowater side. Yeah. And the leg from Salaye to Vonjama is where we are lining up funding. I just got some good news from the Kuwaiti fund. We're getting some good news from the Saudi fund. Before we unveil it to you fully, we must unveil it to His Excellency. So what I can say, especially to the brother from Bola here in France, that spent about how many weeks on the road, that is a distant reality. That nightmare will not record. The President is clear-eyed about this, that we'll connect the road from here to Harper, paved. Those are underground, there will be passed, and Banga Menekoma is also going to benefit. It's going to be paved. We're not going to rest. We're lining up the financing. We don't want the work to stop. So when we came in, the work has stopped. I don't want to belabor the reasons. We have to go to Kuwait to unlock it. It's starting again, but as it starts, as it's going on, it will not stop. River G, you're from Fishtown, right? Yes. The Excellency will tell you that we visited, when he was Vice President, we, I think it was 2007 or so, or 2008, one of those years. We had a cabinet meeting there, and we went there. The fun was that, we went to Fishtown. The fun was that we couldn't find a fish, neither could we find a town. But 2 years later, through the hard work, his help and support he gave by the President, and we now seat a town. I'm told that things are improving. We have a health facility. What you said, I've taken note to communicate to the Minister of Education that you only have one high school, and working with her, we'll see how we solve that problem. The issue about the port and clearing of goods, it's not just your issue, it's our issue. The port is central to development, is central to revenue collection. As Finance Minister, on my right hand are people that make demands for money. On my left hand, we have to raise the money. If I don't raise it on this side, I can't give it on this side. Sometimes when I get short-handed on this side, people on this side don't get happy with me. So the port is part of our equation for success. The problem that we face at the port is structural, but we are solving the problem. If you see, we are expanding working hours at the port first. I usually go home very late. Now, up to 10 p.m., went to 11, you will see trucks lining up from the port almost to Logita Cinema, entering, because we're trying to reduce the turnaround time, because the longer your container spends in the port, the demurrage will increase, and the prices, the amount you have to pay to clear your goods will go high, and then you pass it on to the consumers. So, but there's a solution that is technical that we're working on. It is called the National Payment Switch. You see, you should be able to pay and clear your goods without physically going to the port. You should be doing it anyway. It's an RT system that the central bank is procuring. Some delay was happening. His Excellency invited all the stakeholders, including the World Bank. He's impatient with delay. And after that meeting, things are on track for delivering that particular architecture by next year. If that happens, you know, services will improve materially. Because what is happening is the post-crude attempt, you know, to physically do something. But when we do what I'm talking, efficiency will increase. They're also having an expansion plan. They're thinking about new port, because the economy is getting bigger. We are outgrowing the port, so we're thinking big on that. Then I will allow you to engage with Simple Duplay or give you details on that. I think there was one last issue. I think I'll address most of the issues. Okay, but okay, River G, Islamic Development Bank, the port, and the road. Tubman University issue is beyond me. I'm leaving with Excellency. But all I can say is to go back to my seat as Liberians in the diaspora. What is happening now should make you proud, and what will happen tomorrow, you'll get prouder. And what will happen day after tomorrow will even make you proud. It can only get better. It can only get better. From where I sit, from what I see, and all that is coming, next year will be materially better than this year. And the year after, thank you.
So I think before I say something before the president is introduced, maybe let's just all members of the delegation, just let everybody see you, raise your hand where you are. I can see the DJ, the cabinet, the bag, so they can know the president's delegation here. I see some in the front. Thank you. Before the protocol comes up to introduce our leader, I want us to close this session on something that you will not know unless we share it, for those who were in the lunch yesterday with our president. When we sat down at the table with President Macron, he said something to our president. He spoke to him about his admiration for the way he handled his visit to the White House. He said to him that he appreciated the wisdom with which he spoke in the Oval Office. What does that mean for me and you? He said that's what leadership is supposed to look like. That's the other thing he said to our president. What does that mean for us? What it means for us is that when others were saying things in one direction, our president spoke with wisdom in a way that demonstrated he has his own mind, his own vision, his own thinking that is geared towards his own people. And that builds trust. So when you hear us talking about a successful mission here, this a successful visit here to France, we came into an environment where there's a leader who already saw that our president is one he can trust. And because he's trusted by world leaders, we have to trust him that he will take us to where we're supposed to go. God bless you.
Senator Vapila, Madam Minister of Foreign Affairs and Dean of the President's Cabinet, Mr. Minister of Finance and Development Planning, other members of the President's delegation, Mr. Ambassador to the Republic of France, representing the Republic of Liberia, Mr. Interim President of the Liberian Federation, living in France, by extension in Europe, other invited guests here, members of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. On the occasion of this presidential dialogue with citizens of Liberia living in France, it is my pleasing duty at this time to present to you His Excellency Joseph Newman Boakai Sr., President of the Republic of Liberia, to respond to the many concerns you may have had. Mr. President.
Thank you, Ambassador. Please have your seats. I want to thank you for taking up your time to meet with us. You come in the leadership of the country, including the Senator, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, who's the Dean of the Cabinet, Finance, our ministers at the back there, including one of the most valuable people who help us to implement policies. And we're here, we do this most often when we travel, because we are aware that outside Liberia are also Liberians who came to different countries for different reasons. Some of them for education, some came in time class for different reasons. And in fact, that's one of the reasons you have ambassadors, so that they are there to respond, to listen, to relay to us some of the things that happen. I want to say thank you to the ambassadors for being able to do that. We want to say to you that our visit here has been very, very fruitful. We want to thank the government of France, President Macron, for the way in which he invited us and the honor he's bestowed upon us, and the way in which we've been able to meet with him to discuss. After that, we were able to meet the business people of this country, people who are deciding to invest in Liberia, and also those who already are doing business in Liberia. And so we've been having a very good meeting. It's a short visit, but very productive. Running a government is not one person's responsibility. So all the people who are here that you see have contributed and continue to contribute. I think one of the things we have to understand that for a good government, you need people who love their country, people who are aware of the issues of the country and are willing to give time to address them. They're not the ones people who clap for all the time.
but they are determined to move the country forward. It's so easy to come to see all the good things in other people's countries. They didn't come overnight. They came out of hard decisions by the citizens and also the determination of those citizens to make a difference. You talk about, I think one of the, I'm not on Facebook, but sometimes things come to my attention, like today I saw that there is television now in Dread Road. But we did say that we want to make sure that all of our capital have television. It's a right. That should have happened years ago. We're not telling you why it didn't happen. We're just telling you why we have to do it, because that's a citizen's right. We went to Dread Road and came back. We could have come the same day, but we slept there because we went for a program. And the ministers have already explained to you some of the things that I would have had to talk about. But one thing I can tell you is that it's not going backwards. We want to move our country so that all of you can be proud. When you hold a passport to go to other countries, you are saying that I'm here, but I can go back. And because of that, because they know you have somewhere to go back, they have a respect for you. I remember some way back, I went to Cote d'Ivoire, any Cote d'Ivoire. And when I said from Liberia, I said, you stay there? That was the question they asked. Because that's our country, and we are determined at all costs to make sure that country is a country that will build for posterity, for people like you, to give you that sense of belonging. There are some issues that you raised in here, that some of them, especially like the Tubman University. Some years back, we went to Tubman University when Dr. Davis was the president, and we are very proud of the Tubman University to see the progress we're making. And but as you know, government comes and go, but things have not been working very well. But we are determined to make sure that not only Tubman University, but all of those universities, because when you graduate, the degree they give you is saying that you can compete with anybody, anywhere. And that's the very reason we're starting at the base. We are going to build 100 elementary schools, all equipped with computer programs, to make sure our children, for those that are coming, begin to pick up, so that they too can compete. And for some of you, and luckily this time, everything that happened, you know it. So you see the quality of high schools, one of them. We're not doing it to please ourselves, we're doing it because Liberia has. I have said to countries that I say that they are the gateway to Africa, I said Liberia will be the destination. They will pass through them and come there, and that's what we're determined to. But we need your help, and I want to say thank to you for being here as good citizens. We haven't heard anything negative. You're here, and some of you are seeking education. Some of you, as we know, are helping families back home. And that's the difficulty about living in an underdeveloped country. You can't live very well here because, especially with cell phones now, They don't even check on your time. They just call you. But I want to thank you. I think for some of you who have been following, we had a very successful diaspora program in the state last time to show that we are also concerned about our people in the diaspora, for the contribution they make. And one of the vexing things is after you send all the remittances, you go back home. Sometimes they think they tell you that they are doing, they don't do them. But the worst of all, you get to the airport, as a citizen, you want to be received, somebody there hustling you, squeezing money out of you. These things we are working, we know it because we too have experienced them. So we are there to make sure that our country will move forward for good. The Southeast is moving everywhere. Even one of the roads that the minister didn't talk about, we want to make sure that road will pass through Buffalo straight to Lofa again. I mean, that's what you do. That a toll road is going to be built from St. Paul Bridge straight to Waterside. For some of you who have gone to Monrovia of recent, you know now you can leave Rowersfield with a little bit of ease. And they were talking about electricity in that corridor. It's already going on. As a matter of fact, we have a managing director who he just gave me his briefing 2 days ago. That road, they're taking the light from year to year straight. And we're going to do that. Talking about the drug issue, these are not issues that go over there. I don't even call the name Zogo because these are children of parents. When people had their children, they call them Zogos. But you know what has happened in our country? We have had coup d'etat, we have had war. A lot of people have been left behind. Sometimes they leave you with 5, 6 children. It's difficult, so they go in the street. They become stray. But we're doing everything to bring them back. And thank God, some of them are coming back by the good examples we send, by putting our resources to show them that we care. So we are doing that. And they are doing their best to come back. So the drug issue is associated with that. You've seen that we're making moves, even in the most difficult time. I don't like to complain about what we inherited, because I always say, don't cause the darkness, turn the light on. You can't sit there and complaining. That's why we say we come in there, and that's why the people trusted us. So our job is to make them know that we are responding to their requests. So Liberia is moving, and there's no reason to be afraid that once good things happen, you think the people in the Southeast would like to take 2 or 3 days to go. It won't happen again. And all of us are part of that effort that you do here. We are also working for medical reasons. You go to a place that every time you have to go to Ghana for something that you can do in Liberia. And not just going there, you gotta go pay money to get in a hospital, to pay in a hotel. You can't afford it. So we are putting practices. We are building diagnostic centers across the country where people are walking. Do we want to always beg people? See how when you're building a road, you take 6, 7, 10 years. If you have the resources, you don't have to do that. But I can tell you, we have good news. Those roads are going to be built in shorter time by the grace of God. And that goes with the management of our resources. I don't care what you do here, you eat pambora kazali here, it tastes better home. And I know you want to come home. Every time people leave America, they go, when they eat it with me, I say, this is organic. That's home. You know, one of the things that really about it, I saw a lady weeping the last time. She just, for 20 years, was able to see her son. Because people go back home, they don't go home. They go to Monrovia and stop there. That's not home. All of us came from some villages. And you don't know how many of people will be happy to see you. And that's what we are trying to do, to make sure that when you go home, you can reach home. We are working, even trying to bring about domestic airlines there, that when you go home, if you can't go by road, you can, because some of you go, they give you only about 2 weeks and so. But that's the job that we have to do. That's the job that we promise you to do. I said during the campaign that in 100 days, no car will get stuck in the mud. And we did it. We did it. It's not me, it's because the legislatures, the people in the finance area, all of them saw the need and the wisdom in doing it. And so, what we say to you here, please be good citizens. Because I always say, it's good for them to say, the chief has come, but when they say they have brought a chief, we want for you to go, we want for them to carry you. So, we want our people to be treated with dignity until they decide to go. So, we want to encourage you to work with the government here. And for some of you, there will be a time you will decide. Try to invest back home. Don't complain about people, foreigners doing this. The opportunities are there. Not very big ones, but you can do some small ones. For us, I think you know what we've done. We felt that the first thing to do is because of all the crises we have, was to reconcile the society, bring about peace. Because, like I always say, if you plait the hair and the light's still there, you'll lose it. If we didn't make peace, we would still be haunted. That's why we had to go to Dreadwood to rebury Dole. That's how we had to rebury Talbot and the people who were all executed, so that we can bring about peace. I am told the July 26th that was the biggest celebrated July 26th ever in Liberia. Why? Because the people now feel that they have a country and people that care for them. That's the job that we will do, and that's what we want for you to help us do. We want to thank you so much for all the contributions you make. The ministers have addressed most of the issues you're concerned. Our concern is to make Liberia a better place. And I can tell you, everybody you see around here, they are determined to do that. We want to make you proud. We want for you to, every day I hear people for the first time calling and thanking. The ones who are complaining are the ones who want to take us back to Egypt, but we can't go there. But then, when God gave you a chance to do something, do it. If you don't do it, don't blame the next person. So, almost going to 2 years, you know very well that the next year, the third year, the fourth year, Liberia will be a different country. I just want to say we are very proud of you. Some of you who are here going to school. Our scholarships are not limited to just people who are you are here and you're studying, you're doing a good job. We know about it. We don't have all the resources, but definitely we want to groom our people who will go back and serve their country. And so we know about it. Maybe the opportunities are there that we can help. When we travel, like we did, we also request scholarships to help our young people so that we can prepare them for their country. Gradually, we'll move them, but I can tell you that the request for River G for school have been placed. The Minister of Foreign Education has already done a survey of where their schools, and in fact, one of the first reports she gave was that there were 7 counties out of 15 where there's an under-enrollment of children grossly, and we are dealing with that because every child in our country must have the opportunity to learn, and we're doing that. As a matter of fact, we are going back some goodwill that we're even not force, but encourage the girls to stay in school, because the report says that up to the 6th, 7th grade, you have more girls, but by the time we start going higher, they are left behind. Some of the reasons we know. And some of those reasons to fight them so that they can give the girls a chance to learn too. Because, you know, I always tell my boys, I say, you hear people say, my daughter sent for me. You never hear say, my son sent for me. If the son sent for you, you send him for a mother-in-law. Because the wife put pressure. So we have to train our girls because they care for the family. And we have to make sure that they compete. On the sporting side, don't worry. Liberia is now winning games. All we have to do is to encourage them to work with the structure, like the minister said. But every area of development is what we're going to emphasize and we're going to work for. So I just want to say thank you for being here, for inviting us. We're happy to see you well and healthy, and we want to encourage you. I want to thank the government here, that the president has demonstrated that he's willing to work with us. And I'm sure it's part of the fact that you are behaving as you should, and we want to say continue to be good citizens. God bless you.
I want to give the president a better hand of applause. You may kind of be seated. As you can see, the zeal and zest, the stamina with which the president responded to your concerns. I want to thank the president wholeheartedly. We also want to thank you for being good citizens and being here today. We started off with a prayer. We want to ask a volunteer to come up and give us the closing prayer.
Folks, you just witnessed the Diaspora Citizen Engagement event that was just held here by President Boakai, addressing issues of concerns raised by Liberians residing here in Paris, France. some of whom are also not only residing here in Paris. They've left several locations that are closer to France just to be a part of this event. So wherever you watched and followed from this concludes the Diaspora engagement event with His Excellency President Boakai here in Paris, France. I'm going to try my best to see if I can talk to a few of them as we continue. Yeah, that's okay. You're fine. I'm going to try my best to see if I can talk to a few of them to give me some of the concerns. But sorry, President Boakai still have a little concern. Let's join him quickly.
The university came and asked me for a particular board member that he wanted to be the board chair. I think it's he and the board chair that are fighting. I had to pay the board chair way to go there. And when we see that all of the politics is creeping into the school, we have to take measure to make sure that we redirect the people to the purpose of the school to get the young people educated, let them be involved in their politics.
So folks, I'm going to talk to some of the Liberians who are here at this event to tell me what they make of President Boakai visiting Paris, France, and engaging them and hearing their concerns. This is one of them right here. He's going to introduce himself. Thank you very much. You raised a very salient point, requesting that President Boakai's government take a look at Refugee County, where you are from, to see the needs of erecting another educational institution, especially a high school. Like you claim there's just only one there, and he overheard you. In fact, he heard you and said his government will make sure that there is another school in Refugee County. What do you make of that swift response from President Boakai?
I'm excited because I'm a former leader of the county. I served there as county coordinator for Ministry of Youth and Sports. I work with the press secretary now, but then she was at the Ministry of Youth and Sport as Youth Service Director. And so I've seen those things that was not put in place in our county, especially when it comes to the school. In fixed time, is overpopulated, and we have only one high school, Toejikle, and Toejikle is not equipped. Like for example, we have been in Europe for long. We are went to other schools and see. Before you graduate from a high school, you have obtained a vocational and technical education. Why you think that Liberia cannot be part? I think Liberia is no exception. Having a visionary leader who is putting Liberia on that path, I think we need to make the kind of recommendations so that it can be put in place. So I'm excited, I'm happy because I know the people of Refugee County are watching us and they know that we make a case for them. So I'm excited, I'm overwhelmed.
Okay. What did you say your name was again?
My name is F. Samuel Dueboli.
Okay. Thank you very much for talking to us.
Thank you so kindly.
So we'll join another Liberian here who is residing in Paris, France. You have also raised another salient point. First of all, you reside in Europe and you head the community of Liberians residing in Europe. But you raised a salient point about President Boakai's efforts at the Williams V.S. Totman University, and he made swift response to the issue that you raised. You also encouraged him to join you in Europe for the next Diaspora conference. What do you make of his swift response?
Well, I think this one caught me off guard. As you know, as we have it out there, there is this popular view that President Boakai is slow to responding. But given the actions taken by my colleagues back home in Liberia, alumni of Totman University who raised the issue with the president, and the president's action to have set up a 3-man committee that investigated the activities of the board of trustees of Totman University, followed by the president's decision to have dissolved the board of trustees, tells me that the president is following the issue at Totman University. More so, after raising the issue with him and asking him to rescue Totman University and don't sit to watch it crumble, the president swiftly came to say to us that upon arrival back home, he is going to solve the problem of Totman University.
I don't want you to mix a picture. Can you do it quickly?
Yes,
we'll come right back. Folks, so I'm speaking to some of the Liberians here who raised serious concerns to President Boakai, and I'm also trying to speak to some of the ones whose concerns that President Boakai have reacted to, that he members of his cabinet who are here have paid keen attention to, and they've decided to make swift reaction to some of these concerns that were raised by Liberians who are residing here in France. The national anthem has been sung to behind me now. Quite interesting. I'm going to take the camera around quickly to show you the joy amongst Liberians as they welcome their president to Paris, France, and then we can continue to interview some of them here. Beautiful event here in Paris at Intercontinental Hotel. His Excellency President Boakai meeting Liberians residing here in France. And of course, several key issues were stressed, several concerns were raised, several recommendations were made to His Excellency President Boakai and members of his cabinet, ranging from trade to investment in back home by diaspora Liberians. Also speaking about of course, trade and investment issue, with key hints pointing at the free port of Monrovia, mentioning the turnaround time in sending investment back to Liberia. Speaking of tariffs, huge tariffs, several concerns, road connectivity issues spoken about by President Boakai himself. Education, President Boakai swiftly addressed the issue of building a school there in River G County to augment the efforts of the current existing one. Several key issues as we speak. And so currently it's now time, as they're taking pictures of His Excellency President Boakai. I'm going to try and see if I can talk to several of them as we go ahead with several. Of course, follow me quickly. Let's see as I continue to talk to more of these Liberians who are here. Right there is fine. Right there is fine. This way. Thank you very much. Right there is fine. Right there is fine. Okay. Okay, thank you very much. thank you. You kindly introduce yourself for those who do not know you. But of course, you also raised a concern to President Boakai, speaking about sports. And of course, President Boakai did mention that Liberia is trying and making strides in football, soccer, precisely as you mentioned. But again, you had some concerns about he making a promise back then that he would have invested more in sports. But what do you make about his swift response to your concern that you raised?
Thank you. My name is Diallo Mohamed. I live in Paris here. I got my A scouting lesson 2024. Currently, I'm doing my FIFA A agent lesson.
Yeah.
I'll be graduating in 2026. I'm in the college science for sport event management.
What do you make of President Boakai's swift response to your concern?
Yeah, when I raised my concern, he gave me the response, and he said that he will do everything possible to raise our football back to where the football is supposed to be. So we are doing extremely well, and hope so it will go the way he said.
Okay. Thank you very much for talking to us. We're glad for having you.
Thank you very much.
All right, so we're going to try and see if we can talk to more Liberians. His Excellency President Boakai is trying to greet some of the Liberians, shake their hands, move around the hall and greet them. But I'm trying my possible best to see if I can talk to them. Sir, are you ready now? Can I talk to her quickly? So quick. So folks, I'm trying to see if I can talk to more of these people. They're enjoying themselves. They're taking pictures across the hall. They're greeting each other. Some of them are from different states, different cities here in France. So they're doing pictures currently. I'm going to try and also to speak to this 17-year-old lady here who also made some commendations to President Boakai, commending him for his development efforts in Liberia. Quite young. She's going to school here in Paris, France also. I'm going to try and see if I can talk to her. Can we do that quickly? Very quick. It won't take long. Just right there is fine. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Just right there is fine. You did commend President Boakai for his development efforts. As a young 17-year-old Liberian who is going to school here in Paris, France, what motivated you to commend President Boakai for the work that he's doing?
First of all, I want to thank President Boakai for this opportunity that he gave me as a young age, 10 years, and speak in front public. I'm very happy and I'm proud of him. He is doing well.
Okay.
I'm a Liberian and I'm so proud of my country. Okay. I'm proud of myself. I'm here, but one day I'm going to return back in Liberia, and I'm going to work hard and make Liberia proud one day.
Okay. What's your name again?
My name is Martin SCC.
All right, Martin, thanks for talking to us.
Thank you.
We just spoke to Martin. Martin did commend President Boakai for his efforts there, congratulating him for his development in Liberia. But President Boakai is now departing. He will make his way quickly to his hotel. This event is being held right here at the same hotel where President Boakai is residing. I'm still trying my best to see if I can talk to more Liberians who raised their concerns here. Monsieur, I'm going to try my best to see if I can talk to Mr. Aliu Kebe, who is also a sports ambassador to Liberia. And speaking of soccer, President Boakai did speak about soccer. So I'm going to try my best to see if I can talk to Mr. Aliu Kebe, who is Liberia's sports ambassador residing here in Paris, France. Monsieur Kebe, let me try to speak some French. But thank you very much. Mr. President did speak about his government trying its possible best to see how they can invest in sports. You are Liberia's sports ambassador and you reside here in Paris. What do you make of President Boakai's message?
I think the Liberian citizen already see the improvement, because even like our national team, the gentleman who was speaking, his name is Mohammed. I remembered like 3 months ago, I took a trip to come here in Paris, sit down with him, we have a discussion. So for me, I believe we just have to improve and do our best. Like we can see our SKD stadium have a light, soon we can play in the evening, so in the night. So, and our national team, and even the last 2 games, we win Namibia 3-1 home. It didn't happen for many years, and we draw away again Guinea Equatorial.
So you think the sports authorities in Liberia are doing well?
Of course, are doing well, and we have an academy. Myself, I have an academy for more than 300 children. We have a football, basketball, and handball, and our goal is like our youth to participate the next Olympic for handball. And the female, we have a female handball and the free charge. You know, we are in Visible Park. Our expensive in the sport is more than $5,000 United dollars every month. So for me, we give back, and our sport it grow like the country who born George Weah. For me, after him, we need to see more George Weah in the football side. So
any message for President Boakai? What do you make of his visit here in France?
He really happy. We happy about the visit, you know, and he's a blessed man. He have a good heart. You know, when you go everywhere you go, God will be always in your side. For me, and we just have to pray for him to stay healthy and good, to continue. And like he say, he want every Liberian have an opportunity to do a sport. So for me, we are in the way. Thank you.
Merci beaucoup, monsieur. Merci. That's Aliou Kebe. Aliou is Liberia's sports ambassador here in Paris, France. And you just heard him commending President Boakai, as President Boakai spoke about his government making efforts in contributing to Liberia's sports development. Let's have a word quickly before you leave. You might want to stand right here for me. Thank you very much. Quickly before we leave, just upon my arrival here in Paris, France, we did speak at the airport, and you spoke about how you, the folks here residing in Paris, France, are doing your best to go back home and invest and all of that. Well, you just witnessed the discussion with President Boakai and some of the issues that he spoke about. What do you make about the engagement with President Boakai?
Well, it's a very good engagement. It's a very good engagement that he made. I mean, he took a full step. I mean, with all the development we are seeing in Liberia, we are proud. And once more, I will say I'm a proud Liberian again, because of the hard work. As I said the last time when we met at the airport, that he has put once again on the globe. So with that, we are proud.
What's your name again, please?
My name is Sekou El Dole.
Okay, Mr. Dole.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for talking to me.
You're welcome.
All right. Another Liberian residing here in Paris, France, Sekou Dole there giving his view. Let me have another word quickly with another Liberian who resides here. Come a little closer. Who resides here in Paris, France. Kindly introduce yourself and tell me, what do you make of the engagement that was just held with President Boakai?
Oh, I'm very glad. I'm very happy. As a Liberian, I'm very, very proud. As I said the other day, that we are trying to put things in place here to help the program the president makes. We received the program and we're working on it hard. We are very, very proud of our president. Let me tell you something. You know, the little girl that gave a flower to the president.
Yeah, you might want to come. Yeah.
You know what she told me? I said, Papa, the president is very, very humble. He's very, very respectful. I said, why? So because when the president, he came as a president, he spoke to everybody. After that, when he reached the female, he always do the day, or he take her hard to speak to her. He said she was very, very impressed. We are proud of our president. This is all of our president. Or we can ensure the president, we're going to support a plan until we can come to our goals.
Thank you very much for talking to me. I appreciate it. What's your name again, please?
Lai Bamba.
Okay, Mr. Bamba. Thanks for talking to me. I appreciate it.
I'm a member of the Federal Council.
Okay.
And I'm a Limafi Peace Ambassador. What that means, Limafi made the Federation, the Liberian Madingo Federation of Europe. I'm the Peace Ambassador.
Okay. My respect, Mr. Ambassador.
Thank you.
Thank you very much there, folks. Still talking to more Liberians here in Paris. President Boakai just concluded engagements with them. Several issues were raised, several concerns were raised. President Boakai spoke to some of these issues. making his government's commitments to make sure some of these issues can come to fruition. Road connectivity, trade and investment in Liberia, education, you name it. So wherever you watched and followed us from, I have been bringing you this live coverage from Paris, France, including President Boakai's entire state visit here in Paris, France. This will obviously clamors President Boakai's activities here in Paris, France, ranging from arriving in France to meeting French President Emmanuel Macron to holding a business meeting with Mendef, the biggest the biggest French enterprise and employer here in France, to having meeting with Total Energy, to having another meeting with ArcelorMittal, you name it. Several businesses and French companies were lined up. Liberia and the French Foreign Ministry signing trade and investment agreements, you name it. More happened here in France on President Boakai's 4-day state visit, but this engagement with Liberians residing here in France will mark President Boakai's last major engagement on his 4-day state visit. I want to try to see if I can have a word with Presidential Press Secretary Kula Fofana, who is here also. She traveled along with President Boakai. She made it with his delegation. We're going to just do a brief summary of President Boakai's tour and his activities here in Paris, France. Madam Press Secretary, you know me, obviously I don't want to introduce myself, but please, I just did a little summary of President Boakai's 4-day state visit here in Paris, France. But let the public get it from the Presidential Press of the Republic, Press Secretary of the Republic of Liberia. What can you tell Liberians, or what were some of the meaningful outcome of President Boakai's 4-day state visit here in Paris, France?
Well, thank you, Anthony, and good afternoon. I think by now it should be 6:55 p.m. in Monrovia. So good evening to Liberians and those following online from every part of the country and the world. It has been a very busy time here in Paris, France, from the presence of the president from the first day to the last day as he wraps up his visit here, engaging the Liberian community. And as you know, you followed the president, the first arrival from the airport, where he engaged members of the community. They greeted him, the embassy team welcomed him very well. And then later in the afternoon, there was a military welcome and honor for him and his delegation. And then following that, the following day, it was where they had the bilateral with President Emmanuel Macron. And the meetings were in two folds. Okay. There was the first round table, where the president and his delegation had a full engagement, a lunch meeting, and there were key developmental initiative conversations that started, especially picking up from where Liberia and France's relationship had gone over the years, and some of the commitment and where things were stalled in the past, and activating and reactivating those, but also discussing new agenda items and new ideas and thoughts to be able to begin and continue where we stopped. And in addition to that, and then there was a one-on-one, a tete-a-tete, sure, or how we would call bilateral, with the both leaders, President Boakai and President Macron, and where they talk about a lot of different things, but there are key things on the agenda. One was France's support on Liberia's ascendancy to the Sanctions Committee. Once that discussion gets to the P5 countries discussion, because France is a member of that, so that France can support Liberia. But also President Boakai's invitation to the President of France to be able to come to Liberia, which he wholeheartedly welcomed. And then the support for communities such as women and persons with disability, sure, and youth, and those initiatives that France is looking forward to supporting Liberia. And these are the key things that were on the discussion for the bilateral. But the roundtable also went in depth and in length. And then today there was also a meeting. In fact, they had a series of different meetings. Earlier this morning, there was the economic meeting with MIDEF. There's a France conglomerate of organizations and business leaders and business organization employers who are really big investors. And this engagement, where the president spoke to that forum, talking about inviting France businesses to Liberia, sure, and opening economic relationship and business relationship with those countries. After that, he also had a meeting with the ArcelorMittal as well as Total Energies and other side meetings, because when a president comes to a country, his delegation, in addition to the official meetings that have been planned, there have also been a lot of other engagement. As you also listened to him when he talked about the engagement with the sports ambassador and other ministers who are also trying to get as much as possible some support from the different sectors, whether it's the education, the economy, the health sector. So those meetings have been happening on the side. And then the concluding part with the diaspora, especially so engaging the European diaspora from the angle of France, where Liberians living in France. And interestingly, I met some Liberians who were in Italy, who had come from Italy. Europe is such connected. Some places you drive 2 hours to come. Using trains, and some I saw someone who came from Germany, so this gives you an opportunity of getting some Liberians who are in the European community to come in. Majority, of course, came from France, from different cities in France, to be part of this engagement. And for the president, because this is something that he has made a tradition since his ascendancy to the office of the presidency, and every time he travels to a country, he engages the community. And then sometime last month, he was in the U.S., where he also had the first diaspora conference, bringing Liberians from all parts of the world, including the African diaspora, the European diaspora, and the U.S. diaspora, because there's this myth, or there's this conversation around Liberian diaspora not just being from the U.S., even though the U.S. has the largest, but there are Liberians in Europe, the Liberians in different parts, of the world, and they are very, very happy to be a part of these conversations, engaging the president and assessing the country. In some of these dialogues, they are not just all hail the president, Some of the dialogue, people really talk about key issues, and interestingly, the Liberian government or the embassies are not the ones who select who to come to these forums. So just so it shows people that it's always been open forum to Liberians in the community. Invitations are sent out, people come, and there are people who have come to forums of this nature and also shared some not so very pleasant thoughts about the government, the administration, and the president welcomed diversification of views. The president welcomes people's ideas, and people disagree with the administration. And he also talks about what they're doing or what he's doing in the sector, what the challenges are, and how he's committed to solving the problems. And these engagements are really sometimes, most of the time, very important, and that's why he does. And here you saw a 17-year-old young lady who represented the young people and coming to talk about some of the issues affecting our communities, and that Liberians can also connect with it. I think it's a very important time.
Lots of key trade and investment discussions were held here in Paris, France. But some of these discussions require a serious follow-up mechanism. I know President Boakai's delegation was made up of Foreign Minister Sarah Best-Loyalty, the Finance Minister, and several other officials who accompanied him here to France. What do you say to someone who may think some of these deals will only be on paper and they will not be worked on?
But the president, since the president got into office, he has all the time worked with his team. And even here in Paris, you have the embassy. And the ambassador, since our arrival, even prior to now, even organizing all of this and making some follow-ups, ensuring that these meetings happened and these things are on course. The team there have been doing really, really well on that. So part of the follow-up mechanism and plan is to ensure that the team here at the embassy, with the leadership of the ambassador, in connection with the foreign minister, to really connect, to keep up the follow-up and give update. Because one of the other conversations that came up was to have Liberia and France develop a business compact, a business agreement that will be able to ensure that French businesses come to Liberia, and as well as Liberian businesses, because our foreign policy now is beyond just aid. It's more of economic diplomacy. So the concept of economic diplomacy is that we discuss based on despite our challenges in terms of where our economic stand or the economy stands, or where our challenges are, despite those, but we come to the table discussing issues relating to trade, issues relating to investment opportunities, issues relating to ensuring that our market is open, where it's welcoming to investors. Likewise, encouraging Liberian businesses to explore, to strengthen, their chain and connect with other international business. So just that openness of the forum. And you've seen Liberia have organized several investment forums in Liberia, having businesses coming to Liberia and partnering with Liberian businesses. So this is the concept, this is the idea, because for President Boakai, the private sector is the driving force for the economy. The private sector is a driving force for employment opportunities, and he believes that under his administration he's going to do just that, to bring all of these things, not just for France or for the French companies, but others as well.
What's next for Mr. President as he concludes his visit here to Paris, France?
So as he concludes, he's engaged, he's made some contacts, he's connected with the people. There's some serious conversations and meetings happening with his team. After this, as he concludes, he's heading for a very short working visit in the UAE, and then follow up as the conclusion of that, he's going to go to Monrovia to get back.
I didn't want to break the news, but what's Mr. President's mission to Dubai?
Well, he is going on a working visit, and again, I don't want to break the news as well. We want the president to break his news because there are lots of things in stock. But what I can say to that is that the president will be going to engage partners who also will be looking forward to investing in Liberia. Right now, our president mission is to bring as much as possible businesses to Liberia, to help boost the economy, to help support Liberian businesses, to help work with the communities, work with the different partners to ensure that our economy is built. So this mission and the other mission will also be on that.
Okay. Thank you very much for talking to me.
You're very welcome, and thank you too for all the work you continue to do and for reporting back to the team in Liberia and for covering the president's activities here. It's an honor and pleasure to work with you as well.
Okay. I don't want to make a request right now, Walter. That's Presidential Press Secretary Kula Fofana there summing up President Boakai's 4-day state visit here to Paris, France. My name is Anthony Williams. Folks, I've been bringing you the live coverage and lots of reports about President Boakai's 4-day state visit here in Paris, France. So wherever you watched and followed us from, thanks for leaving your comments and concerns in the comments section. As Liberians, wherever you followed and watched us from, I'd like to say thank you. Live from Paris, France, this is Anthony Williams on LNTV and ELBC Radio. Bye-bye for now.